Hi friends, thanks for joining me today. So if you remember on July 7th, I shared this Fun Fold card with you for my Fun Fold Friday card tutorial. And I had promised that on Tuesday, we would be using current papers and current stamp sets. So this is the card that I came up with. And I used the Cheerful Daisies, Sweet Citrus, and Sweet Songbirds stamp sets. Yeah, I know, maybe I went a little overboard with the stamp sets, but I used the daisies from Cheerful Daisies to make the daisies. And then I used this little sentiment here, which says you've got something to celebrate. And that was from the Sweet Songbirds. And then I needed a long sentiment to put on this strip over here. And that came from the Sweet Citrus. And it says, enjoy the sweeter things in life. So I really like the way this turned out. I actually made it for my Team Swap cards. So I'm really excited about that. So as I mentioned, we are using 3 stamp sets, as I said. And the designer series paper that we'll be using is the Countryside Inn, which is available in the annual catalog. So I've got my pieces pretty much all cut out, and I don't have them scored or completely cut because I wanted to do that part with you. That's the most important part, I think, of this card. And incidentally, if you are interested, I do have a free download available. Simply sign up for my email newsletter and you'll get this download automatically. And it has all the instructions, the supply list, and if you'd like to order anything. And then it also has some cool diagrams that you can follow along with. So let's get our paper trimmer out. And first what you want to do is you want to score the piece of cardstock. This is boho blue that I'm using, and it measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So what's nice about this project, as I mentioned in my video on Friday, is that you can actually get 4 cards out of 1 piece of cardstock. So pretty cool, right? And then you need to cut up some of the designer series paper. And again, you can get at least 4 pieces from the 12 by 12 sheet. So first you want to score this at 2 1/8, so it's basically half of the 4 1/4. Make sure your cutting blade is out of the way, and then you want to score which is the lighter blade. Then turn it. Now you want to do a little bit of cutting. So you want to, on the long side, line that up to the 1-inch mark, and you want to just cut down to the score line, which is 2 1/8. Move the cutting blade out of the way. Then you want to move this to the center about 2 3/4. Lift up the arm a little just so you could move the blade down, because now you want to be cutting up. Let's see, can you see that? Yeah. Okay. So at the 2 3/4 inch, you want to cut up to the 2 1/8 mark. Okay. And you want to lift your arm again, move this to 4 1/2. And again, you want to move the blade up to the score line and then cut up. So you're left with something that looks like this. It kind of reminds me of the football goalposts. So anyway, all right, so that is done. Next, what I want to do is cut this piece down. So you want to cut on the long side, you want to cut this piece down in half. So this is, what is this measurement? Hang on a second. The designer series paper measures 4 inches by 5 inches. So you want to cut this down at 2 1/2 inches. And it's best to use paper that's non-directional, so you're not worried about, you know, going the wrong way with this. So we have 2 pieces now. So basically what you want them to look like is these. So to get that, let's see. I hope I do this right. So I want to put this in. So this is going to go to the, I like to use the right side of the ruler here. So at 3/4 of an inch, and you want to cut down from the 2 1/8 inch, again, using the ruler on the side. Bring the blade down and slice up. Then you want to turn this around, and I think it measures up to 1 7/8 of an inch, and you want to cut down to that 1 7/8 inch mark here. And you're left with this, which is just a scrap. So you have this piece. You want to do the same for the other piece. So again, line it up to 3/4 of an inch. And these instructions are in the PDF. Bring it down to 2 1/8. Slice up, turn it, line it up to 1 7/8. And also here you want to line it up to 1 7/8. And up there, and cut off. And there you go. So these are scraps, or you could use them in another card if you want. So now we're left with these two pieces. And I think we're done with the trimmer. So let's start putting this together. So we're going to have one piece that's going to go here, another piece that's going to go, oh, hang on. So what you want to do is, with this facing you, you want to take that center piece here, fold it just a little, and fold the other one back, and then fold it back again. So it kind of looks like this. Use your bone folder to just burnish those edges a little, and go back this way and do the same thing. So it creates this fun flap here. So again, when it's facing you this way, fold that one side, the right side, back, and then you're left with this. Okay? And let's see, did I do this right? No, of course not. Hang on. Yeah, I cut the wrong side. All right, I guess we'll be using this side. There is a way that you cut this that, you know. So, okay, so we're using this side instead of the stripes. It's okay. That's why you want to use paper that's not directional, because if the back side, if you cut it incorrectly like I just did, then you can flip it over. All right, so we're going to use some liquid glue. Let me just try something here. If I flip it the other way. Yeah, okay. So it depends on which way you flip the card base. Because I just flipped it the other way and now this works. Okay? But the concept is the same. All right, there you go. Keep in mind, you can always stop the video and then, you know, do the card, go back and rewatch it. Just adding a little glue to the back side. And then I want to adhere this piece down. So, and then we'll do the same thing with the other piece. adhere this piece, and there's a little bit of a border around. Okay, there we go. Next, I want to adhere one of the white, basic white panels that measure, what do these measure? I didn't put these on here. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that. So this is 2 inches by 3 3/8 inches. And I have 2 of these. One's gonna go on the back side, so you'll have plenty of room to write your message. And then another one will go on the front, and we'll be stamping on that one. I'll put some liquid glue here, my favorite glue. I love this glue. Gives me some wiggle room. And this will have a very small border. All right, that's good. All right, so that is good for the gluing. Now we can go to our stamping first. First, I'm going to stamp the sentiment, and I'm using Misty Moonlight. I love this color. This is one of our returning colors. Enjoy the sweeter things in life. So I'm going to position this more over to the right hand side and press down. Beautiful. Probably should use a mat under this because they're photopolymer stamps. So let me pull that out. Just want to wipe this clean. All right. So that's done. And next I want to do this one on here. Again, I'm using Misty Moonlight, and you've got something to celebrate. So I'm just going to put this over to the right as well. So it gives me some space to write, to stamp my daisy. We're done with the Misty Moonlight. And the daisies are a 2-step stamp, actually 3 if you do the center part. So I am going to stamp the this one first, the outline first. I just want to make sure I have the right one. Yes, okay. Ink that up, and that is Night of Navy that I'm using. We'll stamp this over to the left hand side, like so. Close this up. I'm finished with that one. Then we're going to bring in the Balmy Blue. Now I could have used the Boho Blue, but I decided to use Balmy Blue instead. So we'll do the daisy, the solid part. I think it goes like this. Try to do this without getting my head in the camera. And down. Beautiful. All right, now we can close up the blues. We're done with those. And lastly, I'm going to stamp the center in Daffodil Delight. So this card really does come together quickly. And as I said, you can make several of them, 4 of them from one piece of cardstock. So it's great if you have to make multiples for, say, like a swap, which is what I did. Makes it very easy. All right, so let's adhere this to the front. And it's nice and it lays nice and flat for mailing. There's no dimensionals on it. And I'm using these pastel adhesive back sequins, which are relatively flat. Okay. Next, we'll adhere this to the basic white, which this piece measures 5/8 of an inch by 5 3/8. And the colored, the boho blue is 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/2. So we'll add a little glue to this piece. And there will be a small border all around. Okay, now what I like to do to attach this onto the base is I'll flip it over and I'll add a little bit of adhesive on the one side here because you don't want to put any in the center. So that's going to be in the open, and then on the other side. And don't put too much because then it'll ooze. Flip it over, and then you can attach it. Let it set for a second. Close up the glue. And now we can add our sequins. So I am going to add a large sequin here in the corner, and then 2 smaller ones, one down here. Oh, it looks like I smudged a little. I must have had blue on my fingers. And then another one up here. And then we'll take 2 of the little ones and add them to here. All right, there you have it. Nice, quick, and easy card, and it's beautiful. And like I said, it mails flat, so when you put it in the post, in your envelope, it's relatively flat, so it won't require extra postage or anything. But it looks like it would require extra postage. So I hope you enjoyed that. As I mentioned, if you're interested in the PDF, and I will correct that before I post it, to add the basic white pieces, which I neglected to add here. So if you're interested in that, sign up for my newsletter. I do send out a newsletter once a month, and occasionally when Stampin' Up! Announces any specials that I want to share with you. So gang, I hope you enjoyed this. Remember to give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you watching. And like my video and let me know what you think about it. Leave me a comment. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.